practice on Saturday, Coach? What do you have to get out of that? Or?
Well, one is to get people here and an opportunity for them to see our guys, get up close and personal, which I think is going to be a lot different than even what we've done in the past with some of the scrimmages and all that. They're going to get a chance to be around the field, be around these guys. And I've always thought, you look at some of those NFL practices, and they've got the stands where people are fairly close to the action and all that, and to be able to get people out here and see these guys, watch them hit, watch them go through drills, kind of listen and really more personal, kind of even, these guys getting after it, some pads popping. I think it's going to be fun for fans to come here and see that. Also for our guys too, just to have people here watch them, see them in action, know that there's eyes on them, because pretty soon there's going to be a lot of eyes on them when they go out there and perform. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great day. It's exciting, something new, and I think something we talked about even last year we wanted to do, just didn't get the chance to implement it. Those were in our notes from even last fall, that this is the time to do it during fall camp, or as we lead into a game and have a little bit of time. So I think it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. These guys are excited about it. They're looking forward to just getting with the fans again, and also signing some autographs and making that connection before we get to the season.
With you kind of mentioned it. Why is that important? Just kind of get them out in front of the fans, and also kind of meeting the fans. I know that's a little bit of a different twist. Most scrimmages they weren't able to do that.
Yeah, they haven't been able to do that. We'd scrimmage, and some fans would stay around there. We got to slap their hands at the end of it, but everybody kind of peeled out when they were done. And this is different. Now it's really putting a face with a name, because we have so many new guys too. I think that's a big part of it. Guys know Tanner Vallejo and Brett Rippon and some of those guys and all that, but how about some of these new faces? Reed Harrison Ducros, Chase Atada, some of these new ones, and for those guys too. Hey, here's Bronco Nation. Most of these guys came on a visit during a game, and they got to see the atmosphere, and they got to see the fans that were here, and this is why they wanted to come to Boise State. Now it's really a chance to get face to face with them and give back. And I think that's a big part of it. I think this football team, this community is special. This is another way to bring that all together on a great day of getting some work done, having a chance to have some fun, and then also interacting at the end of practice with some autographs.
So I know it obviously has a fun name like Fan Fest, but how important is it for you guys to make the most of the day? I mean, it's a week out from kickoff, and usually when you hold the scrimmage, it's probably 2 weeks in advance of that.
Yeah, which is what we did. We had our scrimmage, we played it at 11 o'clock, so we simulated as best we could that whole entire morning, what it's going to feel like, what it's going to look like, all that. This isn't so much about that. This is about getting excited for football. And obviously there's high school teams playing on Saturday, and there's games going on now, and these guys you can feel it. They're looking forward to getting out there and playing. Well, this kind of gives us that energy with having people out there and before we go play at Lafayette. And again, like I said before, I just think it's fun. And I really want to see the people come out here and just enjoy it, be more intimate with our players. Certainly our guys take a lot of pride in that, with what they do in the community. And now they get to actually come out here, and they do so much, whether they're going to schools or going to hospitals and all that. Now we get people to come out here and watch these guys work a little bit and see how they operate really on a day-to-day. It's going to be a shortened practice, not a full entire one, but I think people would like to see these guys get out here and see what type of work they do, and watch these coaches coach and really be in that environment.
So they're going to be, instead of getting close to the field, they're going to be in the stands, or you're going to have them around the field?
We'll have them both. I think people, there's obviously places to sit and all that, but we're going to have people down, on the side there. We're going to obviously keep it back to where it's safe as well, and monitor it that way. But let's get close and personal. Get out there, watch these guys, watch them work. We talked about it today in the team meeting, and all those guys have smiles on their faces. They're kind of nodding their head because it's something new that we hadn't done in the past, and we're looking forward to that.
How do you feel like motivated this team is? I mean, you guys have brought up kind of record last year. You don't try to think about last year, but it seems like that's kind of really pushing this team. How have you felt that in fall camp?
Yeah, well, I think you know what you did last year, and that's always going to be a motivating factor as you lead into the next season. And certainly we understand where we fell short. We certainly understand our capabilities of what we can do, and now it's about being consistent and trying to do that every single game. So, and with the type of leaders that we have, you guys obviously talk to the captains and all that. I think that's just another big part of this football team's mentality. Is we have good leaders on this team. They're looking forward to getting out there and playing, because I think been preparing really well since the off season through summer. They're in better shape. They've been eating better. They understand the concepts and schemes we're trying to get done. And now it's time to go out there and just get on the field and actually prove it and go play. And I think any competitor wants to go out there and see what type of work they've put in and go accept that challenge and hopefully play their very best.
With Jeremy last year, switching from kind of being a wide receiver to being a full-time running back, did he make that switch look easier than it really should be?
Well, he came in here to play running back, and he obviously had the ability to play wide receiver. Some schools had recruited him as a wide receiver, and that was that weapon part, right? He was going to be a guy that we could use out there, and we did. We split him out at Z and X in different positions. I think he's done a great job of physically changing his body to be in running back, build for the running back position, but he's a guy that can still do those things as well. That's what's fun about him, is just gives you a lot of variety. And but his mentality is tailback. His mentality is running the football, being physical, and preparing himself to do those things. And obviously he's going to do more for us as the season goes on. But we do have some good players working along with him. Devin Demas, Alexander Madison, Ryan Wilkin. So now that backfield is I think, building itself and their standard as well. You guys talked about the linebackers the other day. I think every unit is trying to build that standard, and certainly that group is as well.
Do you have a limit on how many people you can travel to a non-conference game, or I guess seats on the plane?
70.
Okay.
Yeah, 70. They actually changed that. We met in the spring. It was 68 before, and most teams were traveling 70, some at 72. So they actually bumped it up to 70 is what we can travel. We can travel more. But just hotel room and just kind of a manageable size. 70, 72, you don't get much more than that because a lot of those guys aren't going to be on the field. You just want to have that focus when you're on the road, especially where everybody's somewhat involved in the game plan with really good focus. You may throw a bone to a freshman that's doing a really good job and take him knowing he's not going to play. Maybe it's an extra quarterback just to see the environment, but we try to stick to that 70 as well.
How many true freshmen at this point do you think you might bring? Steve mentioned 4, and you mentioned Madison, and there's a couple other guys in the mix. I mean, how many do you think you might bring?
Yeah, I don't know that yet. A handful of guys. The names that we mentioned before, we anticipate those guys going. How much they play or if they play, you're in game one, so you're always looking at, all right, where can we get these guys in? And it's not always going to be that starting role necessarily, but it's also going to be on special teams. So these guys have been implemented more into special teams. They've also got to be able to do it, and that still remains to be seen. We have another, thankfully we've got another week of practice and prep to go out there to find out what they can do, what they can handle. But these young guys, one thing that the summer, they came in shape, and that's one thing that most freshmen don't do. So they were already in shape. They could run, and we had given them a heads up that you need to be prepared for that. But then physically, just they're stronger. I think their knowledge. I think one thing in this group of freshmen, we've got some smart players that have conceptually caught on to what we're doing, so that gives them an opportunity to play. And then, at some positions, if it's depth and need, you got to make sure that you've got the right amount of guys in case something happens that they can go in there and play.
Good.
I was going to ask. We've been asking a lot about DSG. At this point, will you play the first game?
Yeah, we're still going through another week of practice and all that. And one thing, just with our injuries with our guys, we're not going to talk about that. With things on this team, we're not going to talk about that either. To be fair to them. And certainly, if we have somebody on this team that's not going to be involved in something or has a season-ending injury, those conversations will be had. But those are usually game-time decisions on what we're going to do and where we're going to go with that.
So health-wise, okay so far?
Yeah, health's been good. We've got a few guys. There's still some bang-ups and all that. They're still rehabbing. Not everybody out of this camp is 100% healthy, but they can play. And so we're anticipating that. And certainly, to be fair to them, we have no season-ending injuries. And so to be fair to these guys, give them a chance. The mind's a powerful thing. Let them try to heal themselves up. It's amazing when the game gets closer how much faster these guys heal because they want to go play. And you know what? We're going to be fair to them. And when game time comes around, hey, if they're not ready, then people are going to know. And we'll certainly be fair about that. But to give these guys a chance to heal and not have to focus on anything other than them getting prepared and healthy, that's what we want.
I know. Just one more about that is yesterday, the last time we talked to you, you mentioned that a guy like Tyson might have to get to go at linebacker. You mentioned that you might have lost somebody. I don't know if you meant like last year, this year, but you just said something along those lines.
Well, the linebacker position, certainly we have depth there, but that's also a position too. Now, if you look at not just what those guys are doing defensively, they're all on special teams. Yeah, and that's one thing too. We got Leighton Van Der Esch on 4 different special teams and also playing. So you just have to, the linebacker position, they do a lot for us, not just defensively, but special teams wise. So you're always just preparing yourself that, hey, if a guy gets winded, something happens, you're bringing a guy along. And Tyson's certainly a guy we want to bring along. Does he have to play right away? Probably not. But down the road, you're getting into game 4 and 5, and he's mentally prepared to go out there and play. He's gotten himself kind of that game experience. Then if that's his opportunity to go do it, certainly he showed some very good things at this point. And we don't want to put a guy out there that we're not going to get significant reps from. And I would say that for a few of these guys we talked about is let's see how they react to a game week of prep. Let's see how they react at a game, and then if we got to go play them, then it's time to go play.
How should we get?